So, I've beaten the main story for Dragon Quest Treasures, and man, am I itching to talk about this game. This is an impressions/review video. So off the bat, is it good or bad? I have to say, it's a good game with some flaws. As a spin-off series for Dragon Quest, I enjoy this game more than Builders. Still like Dragon Quest Heroes more, however, so it's right in the middle in terms of my spin-off ranking. I'll briefly discuss the story since the gameplay is the most interesting aspect of Treasures, at least for me. Eric and Mia get isekai'd to a world where they can treasure hunt to their heart's content. It's pretty basic. The main goal is to collect the 7 dragon stones, pretty much the most valuable pieces of treasure in Draconia. Something I found really cool is that the world of Draconia, the land masses that you're exploring on, are 2 giant dead golden dragons, reminding me of Xenoblade 1 with the Bionis and the Mechonis. This giant corpse world concept is always cool when I see it. The basic gameplay loop is that you explore large open-ended areas for treasure, head back to base, and have your treasures appraised. More valuable treasure raises your base rank more efficiently. A higher base rank has benefits and bonuses that directly affect gameplay. Finding out what the treasures actually were and getting them appraised was satisfying because all of the treasures reference the Dragon Quest franchise as a whole. The coolest treasures, in my opinion, are the statues of Dragon Quest characters. Not gonna lie, I kind of popped off when I got Imperia from Dragon Quest VIII or Terry from Dragon Quest Monsters. I still need a Jessica statue though. After a few hours, things open up and you can treasure hunt on any of the various islands at your leisure. When you're fighting in this game, you have a few things you can do. Dodge, jump, use slingshot pellets, melee attack, recover HP with your dragon dagger, or unleash the dragon, which are sort of like ultimate moves. Your recruitable monsters fight on their own, but you can give them basic commands like go all out or gather towards me. There is no guard button, which is a bummer, but it's not that big of a deal because the game isn't too difficult. I'm just happy you can do more than just jump and melee attack like in Builders. Something I realized in like the 15-hour mark, and this might be helpful for you if you're having problems with the combat or don't like it, stock up on pellets and focus on support from a distance. You can get up close and attack monsters with your dragon dagger, but it feels like that's not what the game really wants you to do unless you're going against a fairly weak enemy. I say this because 1, there's not any lock-on for dagger attacks, so keeping track of enemies as they move around can be a hassle, and 2, if you join the fray with your monsters as they're fighting, you will get smacked up by the enemy's AoE attacks. This happened to me even when I tried dodging out of the way. This game is really centered around using your slingshot, and you should do so. It's a ranged weapon, so you can attack from a distance while being able to react to enemy attacks that are being thrown at you more easily. Plus, you can auto-target with the L button, which kind of helps with the lack of lock-on for close-range attacks. To give you some perspective, I was fighting a level 40 boss. It was for one of the dragon stones, the Sapphire Eye. I was level 33, and I tried the strategy of, fighting alongside my monsters. I got tossed up, but when I tried again, focusing on using the slingshot and pellets, I beat it. All my monsters died, and it was a close one because I was underleveled, but it shows the effectiveness of pellets. They are very versatile. There are healing, support, offensive, and ailment pellets. And if you truly do want to fight close range, there are stun pellets that temporarily make some enemies immobile, so you can directly attack. To be honest, at first, I found this combat to be kind of unfulfilling, but when you center your playstyle around using pellets with close range as a secondary option, it becomes decent fun. Now, the treasure hunting, it's in the title of the game, so how do they do implementing this into treasures? I'll tell you, they did good. For me, this is where the simplicity of a game like this shines. The treasure hunting is not complex and overbearing, which is enjoyable because you spend a lot of time doing it. It's kind of the game's whole thing. Your monsters alert you when you're near treasure and they have a red exclamation mark above their heads when you're very close. You can then access treasure vision, where you can see the location of your treasure through your monster's eyes and use that info to find the treasure yourself. For me, it's really fascinating to see the point of view of the different monsters. Some only see in black and white, others are basically blind, like the Muddy Hand. I'm just wondering how that thing sees in the first place. Now, while the treasure hunting is enjoyable, one thing I wish was handled differently was the treasure vault back at home base. The whole game is centered around treasures, and right now I only have 6 podiums to place loot on in my vault. That makes me a bit sad. You can view your collected treasure in a menu. However, for a game so centered around treasure, I would have liked to see the treasure vault be more customizable. It's just an empty room with 60 plinths. Call me weird, but I just thought it would have been cool if you could place multiple treasures in certain places in your treasure vault, kind of on that Animal Crossing move your furniture around shenanigans. I will say, of all the Dragon Quest games I've played, going from place to place was the most fun in this one. The monsters give you different abilities called fortes to roam the areas you explore, like a super jump, sprint, glide, shadow dive. It's got some really fun map traversal. During my time with the game, it ran well, didn't really have any technical issues. If I had to give Dragon Quest Treasures a rating, I'd bestow it with an 8 out of 10. Final overview. The actual treasure hunting is great, the action-oriented combat is decent fun, it doesn't feel like a true ARPG, which I guess is to be the case with spin-offs like Treasures and Builders. Story is lighthearted and nice, overall a solid game, but I think the only action-based Dragon Quest game I'd really fall in love with is Dai Infinity Strash or Dragon Quest Heroes. Have you played Dragon Quest Treasures? Do you plan on getting it? Let me know all that stuff in the comments below. Be safe, my friends, and keep on playing Dragon Quest. I'll talk to you in the next video. Help us reach 700 subscribers, please. Bye.